Alright, welcome back. This is Mark with MT4 Trading.com with this, another in the series of video tutorials on the use of the MetaTrader 4 platform. Today we will be discussing entering a expert advisor, placing an expert advisor onto a chart and making sure that we have it configured properly and that it is working properly. Very often we believe that we have installed and placed one on a chart correctly, and yet we find that we're not getting any trades. There could be many reasons for this. One reason, for example, could be our connection with the broker. One could be that the expert advisor is malfunctioning, but most often it's because we do not have the proper settings. So it's very important, again, to make sure that we read the manual and the documentation that comes with the expert advisor. I have found that most of them do a very good job of explaining the proper way to install and then to place the expert advisor on a chart. Today we will be placing Forex Tracer, which is an expert advisor that I test, and I will be placing it now on a chart. Now, one of the first important aspects is to make sure we have it on the proper time frame, and this would be covered again in the manual. Forex Tracer is supposed to be on the 30-minute chart. So for example, if I was on the hour chart when I first open my platform, the first thing I want to do is make sure I have the correct time frame. Then I simply left click on the particular expert advisor and drag it to my chart. Then up will pop a box that shows the name of the expert advisor, and I have my inputs tab. This particular expert advisor has very few user inputs. There are two trains of thought on that. Some think that's great, others think we as the user should have more configurable settings. That's really a personal preference and a personal choice, and comes from a great deal of testing. Generally you will see the defaults listed, and in the manual again it may cover moderate settings, aggressive settings, very aggressive settings, and so on. In this particular case we're going to leave them all as the default. However, if you did want to change any of these fields, you simply double click and you can type in a different amount and then go down to the next one. So I'm going to go back and change that to the original, and that's what you could do with each one of these areas. Now this is based on when you see a number indicator here. Some expert advisors will have different colored boxes, and you will find that when you double click on them nothing happens, and that's because it indicates a category. So you will only know that you can change a particular variable if you double click on it and it highlights and you're able to do that. This particular EA also has a magic number, and that is very important if you are using multiple EAs on the same account. Generally, based on my experience, I only recommend doing that on demo accounts, but again, that is a personal preference. So for example, if you wanted to use two different instances with different settings to test this EA, you could simply double click and change this magic number, and all you need to do is just to change one digit. You do not have to change all the digits. As long as it's off by one digit, then it will function properly on two separate charts, and that's all you would do is load this again on yet another chart. So now that we're done, we will click OK, and we will notice that up in the right hand corner it says the name of the expert advisor, but we have an issue. We have an X. An X means that this EA will not function properly at this stage. Now I'd like to direct you to both the Journal and the Experts tabs, and you will find what appears to be some misleading information. According to the Journal, this EA had been removed and then just now loaded successfully, and yet we see the X in the top right hand corner. And then on the Experts it does say that it's been loaded and initialized. So again, we may think that we have loaded it properly, but in fact we have not. The reason for the X is because if we look at the Expert Advisor tab, it is turned off. So the way to change this X to activate the EA, one option would be to press the Expert Advisor tab. However, now you will notice that we have what is referred to as a sad face, and that means again that the EA is not yet functioning properly. We have to determine why. Now, what is often forgotten in this particular instance is that we need to go to Tools, we need to click Options, and we need to make sure that all of the left-hand boxes are checked. So you'll notice that Allow Live Trading is currently not checked. Therefore, this Expert Advisor would not be able to open any trades. So we need to tick that box. We want to make sure that Ask Manual Confirmation is not checked, and the reason for that is every time it wanted to place a trade, we would have to manually confirm that it was okay to do so. We do not want to do that. We also want to make sure that Allow DLL Imports is checked. However, we want Confirm DLL Function Calls to be unchecked, and then this final box to be checked. These two boxes are a personal preference. Generally, I like to uncheck them, because what happens, as you can see here, is the experts would be disabled anytime you changed any information on the account. Now if I click OK, you will notice that I still have a sad face. That means that the Expert Advisor still is not functioning properly. There must be another reason why. So if I simply left click and then go to the Common tab, I will see my problem. Allow Live Trading has not been checked, and Allow DLL Imports has not been checked. I need to uncheck this particular box. So notice that even though I changed that on Tools and Options, it does not automatically change it on the Expert Advisor Common tab. So we must make sure that all of these boxes are properly checked. And now, when I click OK, you will notice that I now have a smiley face. So I'm fully operable, and again I check my Journal and Experts tabs to confirm there are no errors. This is where we would find an error. We notice that it was deinitialized when I removed it. It was reinitialized, and it shows all of my settings, and anytime I change my settings it will go through the same exact process. And on the Journal it says it is now loaded successfully. I have that confirmed with my smiley face, and now my Expert Advisor is ready to work. So I hope that clears up some difficulties that many people have with Expert Advisors. Before we go running to their support and asking them why it's not working, we need to make sure that we have done things properly on our end. Well, that's about it for now. I want to thank you again for your time and attention, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video tutorial.